I believe true spirituality is not trying to force a script on yourself, which I was recently doing. I thought this was the way to do it because, hey, if I'm a god, then I should be able to create my story at will, create my reality at will. But that's only a slice of the whole entire cake. Instead, I was unconsciously, trying to prove myself on some, hey, look at me, I'm worthy too. Can I join the party? But I don't need to do that. If I'm in my own lane, my own path, there's no need for me to force anything. There's no need to convince people of my path being worthy. It's already worthy as it is because I'm connected to the Creator. We all extensions of the Creator. And as you can see along my journey, I will contradict myself at times because overall life in existence is a paradox. And when I do contradict myself, that only shows my growth. So this allows me to recognize my own progress and often proves to me that there's no destination but here, the now. For some people, the ego won't allow this. I don't blame them because I often get sucked back in as well. Who doesn't, unless they've trained really hard over time? They'll allow their ego to force a script. They'll think, no, it shouldn't be like this. It should be this way. It should be like this. And they'll try to force it and align their lives with that way of what they think life should be. But that's when suffering happens because you're attached to this idea of how things should be. Or they would be like, oh, I have to hurry up and ascend or I'll end up reincarnating, but that doesn't make any sense as well because let's go here. Nature and source isn't in a hurry. Ego is. And I get why, because it's a limited self. I can tread lightly without feeling guilty for not being at a certain level. Nigga, I'm only 21. Reason why I kept getting messages from the universe through people to stop being hard on myself, and now I understand why. I'm trying to force something that may not be for me, and I need to trust source to help guide me to something that is for me and better than what I think I want. And when I say this, don't allow your ego to label that as a bad thing, because it's all necessary, even when you do fall down that rabbit hole of the ego. And remember, all is necessary. God transcends good or bad. So this is where you look at your limited self, the ego self, as comical, or just an interesting story from the perspective of your limited self. Reason why I'm emphasized, if I do end up reincarnating for whatever reason, then that means I wasn't meant to ascend. That means I was meant to come back and do something. Because it is what it is. I have to go back to complete something which I weren't ready to complete before. People in the spiritual community often try to guilt others into feeling bad for not being at a certain level that they're at spiritually. And people fail to realize, we're all standing in different perspectives. There's not one way to reach source. And I think that's where spiritual ego comes in. And I know this because I'm able to reflect on my past behaviors. Now I'm at a point where I want to allow source to pick up the pen and flow with the strokes of the pen, trusting where it goes with excitement, joy, awe, and peace, instead of allowing ego to be so rigid with the storytelling, creating a straight line rather than spirals along the paper. 9 ether beings.